Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Sophomore year, band was my life. So if you want to be a better musician, that's something you gotta do. You gotta spend time on your instrument.
I'm so glad that I was able to return, get that opportunity to come back.
Little heart signs on my eyes. Could sell my soul, like have few extra years just to play guitar.
So above teaching all that, I think it's important to teach how to be a good person.
I know I'm definitely gonna plan on getting a guitar.
Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and other distinguished members of the audience. You're listening to Valley Vibes, a radio show produced entirely by Spartan Sound Productions, Central Union I's very own production studio. We're coming back with another episode of Music Makers for the month of May. We love us some alliteration down here at Valley Vibes. Now, some of you may remember our last episode of Music Makers, which recognized the works of Central students AJ Aguilar, Johan A. and Jorge V., and the artist known as Ariel, all of whom were active in Central's electronic music classes. This month's edition of Music Makers will instead focus more on the school's music programs in a sort of belated Music in the Schools Month celebration for the month of May instead of the month of March. For the occasion, we've decided to cover the Great Spartan Band by bringing in the director, Mr. Patrick Yanni, and a few veterans of the program to speak about it. In addition, we'll also be covering Central's very own advanced guitar program, one of only a few in the Valley as a matter of fact. For this, we've interviewed Mr. Matthew Gady, director of the advanced guitar program in the CUHS chorus, and a few students currently enrolled in the advanced guitar program. So without further ado, let's dive right into the content. I'm currently sitting here with Mr. Patrick Yanni, who is the director of the Great Spartan Band this year. Could you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Patrick Yanni. I recently took over as the director here of the Great Spartan Bands here at Central, and I'm excited to be back at the high school that I attended to, teaching a band that I was a member of as a student.
Okay, and we brought you on here to kind of discuss how you got into music in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Right. So growing up, I grew up here in El Centro, first of all, and I was in a pretty musical family. My mom, she was a nurse, but she did a lot of singing as kind of a hobby. So she was in the master chorale, the local community choir that we have here, and then. As part of that, the director at the time, Linda Brown, started a junior master chorale. And so I started singing with that choir. So kind of the first thing I did musically, officially musically, was singing in a choir as a pretty young child. I also sang in choirs at church and stuff like that. So singing was kind of the first thing that I did with any formal music. In addition to that, obviously, my parents and brothers and sisters, they all liked music. So we would always have music playing. When we would clean the house, my dad would play some of his old records.
Lots of exposure there, I'd imagine. Right,
yeah, just kind of listening to the music that, my dad liked a lot. He liked a lot of the Beatles and the Beach Boys, the Doors, a lot of that stuff. So that was always around, but, I would sing badly along with the records when we would clean and stuff. But my first formal training happened as part of the choir, like I said. And then I was a student at St. Mary's School. So I went there from kindergarten through 8th grade. And we started a band, I think I was in 5th grade. And they decided to start a band, but it was starting from scratch. So they didn't have any instruments that students could loan. So they were we're starting a band, but if you want to do it, you got to get your own instrument. And so my parents got me a trombone. I chose the trombone because it was just a different instrument. All the other instruments had keys you push or valves you push. And I thought the trombone was unique because it had a slide. And so I chose the trombone, and my parents, got some money together and got me a trombone. And actually my very first band director was Mr. Scott. He's now the choir teacher and I think musical theater teacher at Imperial High School. But he started the band at St. Mary's when I was in 5th grade. So he was my very first band director. And, I had beginning band, and then he moved on and got a different job where he wasn't allowed to teach as much. It was an after-school band program at St. Mary's. So the band kind of like fizzled away. So I really only had like 1 year of
band experience prior to high school.
Right, before high school. Going into like 6th and 7th grade, I started playing guitar, just kind of by ear, and I would play really loud and probably very badly with my friends and like garage bands and stuff. Because, whenever you start playing music,
it's part of the learning process.
Right, it starts badly. But we got pretty good eventually, but it was a process. But I kind of started playing, some pop punk music in my friend's garage. And then his mom actually worked at the fair, so she was able to get us some gigs at the fair. Like when I was in 8th grade, that was the first time I started performing like in front of people. That was at one of the smaller, it wasn't the main stage, but like one of the smaller stages at the fair, we were able to play there. And then a funny story is actually going into high school. I didn't have much interest in being in marching band because, the stereotypical thing that you think of is like, oh, the band's like for nerds and I want to be cool. Right? I want to play football, right? That's what I thought.
Right.
And so my mom was like, well, you can play football, but we bought you a trombone that you only used for a year. So you're going to be in band too. And you're going to at least give it a shot because we paid a lot of money for that trombone and it should be used. So I was like, fine, I guess I'll do marching band. And I ended up doing it and I loved marching band. I just loved being in the band. I loved playing in the marching band. And then the second semester when it turned to concert band, I loved being in the concert band. And so pretty quickly my interest changed from, what would have been football, which incidentally I wasn't very good at, to band, which is something I really enjoyed. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got started in band, and then I just continued from there. I joined the band in high school, and then as a freshman, I actually was a student at Southwest. But then my sophomore year, I came here to Central to be in this band here at Central. And my sophomore, junior, senior years were all here at Central with Mrs. Baker as the director. And my senior year, I was a drum major. So that's kind of a long answer to that question of how I kind of got started in music and kind of what took me through high school.
I see. It's a very interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay, and we wanted to ask you about any sort of experiences you must have had while directing the band here, even though you've only been here for a few years.
Yeah. Well, this is actually my first year here. I taught, it's my 11th year teaching high school band, my 14th year teaching total. I taught at middle school in San Diego for a year, and then I taught at Eastlake High School, San Diego for a year, and then Patrick Henry High School for a year. And then I did some teaching with the San Diego Youth Symphony up in San Diego in the National School District before I moved back here. And then I taught at Southwest for 10 years, and this is my first year here. It's been really great coming back. Like I said, I graduated here, so this is feels like home to me. It's the program that, gave me so much as a high school student, so I'm glad to be able to come back and help it continue with the traditions that, are so well known for the band. And I think it's important to try to have somebody who understands those traditions take over. Mrs. Baker did such a great job and, continuing the legacy that Mr. Cannon started, and then building her own aspects into it. And then hopefully that's what I plan to do, is continue what she started and kind of put my little twist on it as I continue working here. I think the best part about teaching at Central so far has been just how much the school community and the community at large appreciates what we do. I know that you're being at different places, it's not very common for the school and the community to be so appreciative of all the hard work that the band's put in. Because I can tell you that at all the bands I've been part of, all the kids work hard and the teachers work hard, but it's not always really noticed. But here, it's definitely a big part of the school atmosphere. And I really enjoy that, the students get that aspect, their hard work recognized so much, and it's just a really cool thing that we have going on here, where everyone's like, "Oh man, you're in the band. That's so awesome! Man, the band's so great." Asking the band to participate at different things, and it feels very much like we're part of the school community, not like, "Oh yeah, we have a band too."
Yeah,
which is what happens at other schools.
Yeah, it's very much a point of pride. The
Right.
Great Spartan band.
Right, and that's something that I really enjoy being a part of that, and it's nice to have people appreciate the hard work that all the students put in.
Okay. And I suppose to close out the segment, I would like to ask you about your perspective on the importance of what you teach, both from the perspective of a teacher and also a musician.
So obviously, I think music is important. It's had such a huge impact in my life. I think band in specific, obviously that's what I teach. You can learn so much from being in band outside of just music. So from a musical perspective, I mean, it's important to teach, proper technique, proper sound quality, playing in tune, and all the things that make a band sound good. It's important to teach all of those things. But I had kind of a revelation a few years ago, because before I would kind of really push a lot of the technical stuff a lot more, and kind of almost tried to run my band program almost like a college level band program, where you have to, do these scale pass offs, and you have to know all of this music theory, and you have to know all of these different things. And then I kind of realized, like, there's a very few amount of students that are going to pursue music, at a collegiate level going on from here. But everybody in the band is going to do something in the community, or at least that's the goal, right? Something positive in the community. So above teaching all that, I think it's important to teach how to be a good person. And there's stuff you could teach with that through band, discipline. Coordination, showing up on time, being part of a team mentality, being able to take criticism, being able to give criticism in a way that's constructive and not just mean. These are all aspects that pretty much any job you go into after high school
will require.
Right, or it requires that. And teaching those things through music is kind of how I see it. So it's like I'm trying to teach people how to be good human beings, and the vehicle I use to teach them how to be good human beings is music. And then there are several students who, over the years have wanted to go off and study music in college, and I make sure to give them, the tools they need to go off and be successful in music. But I kind of realized that wasn't the goal of the program overall, is to get people to, go be music majors. It's to have them be good human beings. And so that's kind of where my teaching philosophy comes in.
Okay, I see. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Yanni.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for having me.
And now we'll hand things over to a few veteran members of the band, who will share a few of their experiences of being in the band and reflect on what they'll take with them when they graduate.
Hi, my name is Adrian Munoz Lopez.
I'm Pavela Madrigal,
I'm Mark Perez.
and we're all part of the GSB here in Central Union High School in El Centro.
Yes. Very nice, very nice. I don't know. We've been put in an interesting situation here, because usually you guys tend to talk to Yanni. I tend to do my own thing. So, yeah, that's kind of an interesting situation. I never really get a chance to talk to you. I don't know. Maybe that's just like a fact of the fact that the band has kind of separated a bit more since.
Yeah, that is very much
Yeah.
true. After marching season was over.
Marching season was always a really tight knit community that we have going on.
Concert
Yeah.
seasons.
Concert season, it definitely gets a bit more tense, because I think that during marching season, there's always like a pretty communal struggle. Like everybody's like, "Oh, this is awful. Like, please let it be over with." And then you're in concert season, and you're like, "Wow,
Such a
I'm
slow pace.
bored."
It's a slow pace.
It's a very slow
Concert
pace.
season makes me miss marching band a lot.
It really does. I don't know. I still wish for I wouldn't say concerts. I wish for more parades, honestly.
Yeah,
I love
agree.
parade season.
Well, we're gonna have 2 parades in
I know, that's
which
why.
sucks.
It sucks. But I guess that's how it always goes. I don't know. When I was smaller, I joined primarily because I don't know about you. I had an older sister. I was like maybe 4, and she was a majorette out for the marching band. And I don't know how I ended up getting into the band section of the stands, and it ended up being like, these, like teenagers were like, "What's this kid doing here?" And I'm like, "Wow, oh my gosh, they're so big. These you guys are so cool." Giants. Yeah, and then eventually I was like, "Wow, I want to do that." Like that's my backstory on how I joined, at least. And then like 5th grade rolled around, and I'm like, "Oh, we can play instruments." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And so I go over to my cousin's house, and I'm like, "Can I borrow your old trumpet?" He's like, "All right, cool, just return it to me." And I'm like, "Cool, all right." I did not return it to him until like last year, like 6 years over when I was supposed to get it back to him. And like from there, it just progressed, and I just ended up joining band. I don't know about you guys though. Like, I don't know much about why you guys joined though.
I joined because when I was in 5th grade, I always my cousins were in football here, and I would always come to the games and see the band perform. And then I told my mom, and I was like, I want to do that. So 5th grade came around, and I joined band. So I didn't quit. I just like kept going with it. And then freshman year hit, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. Cause then sophomore year came around. It was our first time back on campus.
Yeah.
Like it was something. 80?
Yeah, I gotta say 80.
So for me, my mom enlisted me and my brother into beginner band at McCabe.
Oh.
I wanted to play drums, but I got like there's so many drums, so I got put on baritone.
Everybody wants to play drums when they're
Everybody
small.
wants to play it, yeah. And my brother got tuba, and I struggled a lot. I was really nervous back then, and I was just like really shy. I didn't ask for help, so I really struggled on my own, and I got frustrated with myself. So I eventually quit, and I really do regret that decision. I wish I could go back fix that, but
Yeah, I get that.
then sophomore year we're here in person and everything, and I watched my brother. Like I knew he was in band.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
he was a big influence.
Alex was like a real big influence on you rejoining band.
He was. Because I used to like I missed like being with him there, and so watching him do it all, and I was like just so afraid to go back. But then sophomore year came around, I saw him in the field, and I was like, I wanna join. Like I want to be a tuba. I want to be playing out there in the fields, and well, with his help, I got Miss Baker to bring me in. Of course, I had to go back to baritone because I had to start somewhere. Yeah. And I really do miss that instrument. And now I'm tuba, and it's just, I'm so glad that I was able to get that opportunity to come back and play with all you guys. It's really fun.
I will say for this year, you're the only tuba, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kill it. You kill it this year for being the only one.
Thank you.
Typically, there's usually like 2, but like I would say that you really did kill it this year for being the only one.
Yeah, that was one thing I was really nervous about because when knowing last year, like I had to replace the only tuba, and being the only tuba, I was nervous. But I'm glad you guys think I did good because that reassures that I did good.
You did
Yeah,
amazing.
I know. You did great. Did you come in before or after the mask mandate was lifted on school?
It was like near the ending of the mask mandate. Like they would be in class, and some of them would have the mask on, some of them wouldn't. So it was just like, it was that weird in between phase where it's like we're slowly just kind of getting over
Coming out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, COVID hit me hard because ended up being like I didn't really learn anything. So I come into summer band for sophomore year, and I'm like I'm out of my league here. I don't know anything that's going on here, and so I come in, and then I'm like, this is like something that I don't take pride in, but it's also kind of funny that I did. I had glasses, right? I had to wear glasses because being online screwed up my eyes. Blue light hurts my eyes really bad. So I pretended that I couldn't read music because I didn't have my glasses. So they'd be like, Mark, that's the wrong note. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have my glasses on. Bring them next time. And then I'd be like, oh, okay. And so I would wear sunglasses and I'd eyeball the next guy over to me for the right notes. And so that's basically how I made it through summer band. I don't know. I know that you Did you struggle in summer
I
band?
struggled a lot during summer band. It was really difficult for me because I was in a brand new place. And I was like, who are these people? I don't know anyone here. And then it was Baker yelling at me. She's like, you're out of step. And it was a lot.
Baker was scary.
I love Mrs. Baker.
She's great, but she definitely had like an aura around her. Like you would not go up to Mrs. Baker and be like, "What's up, Mrs. Baker?" You'd be like, "Hello."
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. You definitely would not like go up to Baker and be like, "Oh, what's up?" You'd just be like, "Hi, I'm here.
I am present in the class.
I am present, in fact. I am indeed present. Thank you very much." Yeah, because I didn't struggle per se, but I definitely was like, I was like, I'm out of my league here. So I had to like relearn a lot of stuff coming in. AD, like, did you do beginning band during freshman year?
No, nothing.
Oh, really?
I did nothing. She just put me in zero halfway through
Really?
sophomore year. Yeah, I just learned from there, and that's how I learned basically music out by watching the others. But I never went to beginning band.
Yeah.
And it's so funny whenever somebody asks like if I did, and I was like, no, I didn't. I just kind of winged it.
Yeah, that's basically same thing as me. I basically did not go to beginning band. I was basically not even there.
It was just winging it when we got back. That's how I feel like it was. for
It
sure.
basically was winging it. It was kind of weird when we had the transition to Yanni because I got
Yeah.
so regimented into Baker's style, and then Yanni came in and he's like real loose and like real
He's
chill,
relaxed.
real
He's more
relaxed,
calm.
real relaxed with it, and I'm like, oh,
You're like,
this guy's cool. I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't make us like go out in the blazing sun at 6:50. Oh, this is awesome. And then like later in the year, I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I ended up being like this year, I was like, wow, I really relaxed this year compared to the other years. Because like previous years, I don't know about y'all, but sophomore year, band was my life. Like days on sectionals, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I wouldn't leave school. Like I would stick around at school from 3 to 6 when it started.
Wow.
I wouldn't leave.
and
Yeah.
then you would leave like at 8 when sectionals
Yeah.
ended.
Or leave when it was like 8, and then I'd go home. Would not do my homework because I was tired.
Yeah.
Crash
What's the
out.
point? What's the
Yeah.
point? Just go sleep.
I'm like, I did enough work today. I was at sectionals. I did good. So I would just like go crash out and then wake up, do the same thing again. Like, okay, I feel like maybe back when I first started, I always thought that Law Academy and like band had like the same level of intensity. And
No
then I'm
way.
like, no.
No way.
now that I'm like a senior, I'm like, yeah, that's not comparable. That is not the same thing. But like, I will admit, band definitely gave me structure in my life. And when I was like coming in like past COVID, that's what I needed. I was lost. And then I come in and band gives me like a thing to do every day. Come in at 6:40, we go practice, do everything. And then I'm like, this is what I can do. Like, I know what I have to do, and I know that I can do it good. And so it like brought me from this like really loose, like kind of like just floating in the wind kid into like a guy that actually I tend to discipline myself more nowadays. But I will say band definitely helped with that.
Sure.
I miss when we had sectionals and we would go out on the field
Yeah.
and play. And then Mrs. Baker wasn't there, but Sophia was.
That was fun.
And she would give us the speech of, go out there and give it all you got. You guys are the greatest part in band, for God's sake.
You know, that was fun. But one thing I always noticed is that like Sophia would do that and then it'd be hype. And then like the next day the hype would die and then I'd be like, I have to give like 110% again? I don't think I can do that. So I'd push myself to try my absolute best, even though like the day before, I like push myself too hard and I'm like sore. I'm like, I don't want to get up today.
So yeah, that is relatable. That is great.
And then this year, what was new is the morning pep rallies that we had
Oh
to do.
yeah, that was way different. We never
never did that with
We
Mrs.
didn't really
Baker.
do that as much at Baker.
I know we did that like once on like the
Once
last
or twice.
We did that once our sophomore year, coming
was
back
like-
because it was the first day since we were back from COVID and everything happened.
Yeah, we never really did that with Baker. Like I will say, with Yanni, he has us perform a lot more, which
Yeah.
I do tend to like. Honestly, I enjoy performing. I guess it's like one of my main passions is just going out and performing for an audience, but like, I don't know. Like, I think junior year with Baker, she definitely did more of that than we
Yeah,
did
she
sophomore
did.
year,
Yeah.
which is like kind of what I loved because we didn't really do with Baker. We didn't just do like school events.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed how junior year Miss Baker really like got us more out there, especially with the class reunion. Those were
Yeah.
fun. Those
Yeah.
were fun. Like
Yeah.
going out after like dark and like
It's like
being
eight.
there.
It's like 8, and you get to perform in front of people, and you're like,
Other than school, like
Yeah,
not at the
you're like-
football field. It's just
you're like coming home, and you're like, we did so good, guys.
God, guys.
We did awesome. And then like, I don't know, that like, I think band definitely like it inspired me because I do want to do band. Well, not band in per se, but I want to do music past high school.
I'm gonna try my best because my school that I'm going to doesn't have that, but there's an opportunity at SDSU. Like if you're not a student,
Yeah.
you can go play in the marching band during the fall. And I was like, heck yeah, I want to do that. It's like,
Yeah.
like that's gonna be a great opportunity for me to like further my passion for music. Like, oh, for sure, I'm not gonna do it as a career
Yeah,
because
it's like a little side hobby though.
yeah, side hobby for sure. I don't know about you, Fabella.
You're in an army, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going into the army.
Do they have
now.
like military marching band?
They have a army band, yeah.
Would you do that or no?
I mean, if I had the opportunity to, but right now,
Is it like selective or something?
yeah, you have to
Oh.
audition, and like the conductor has to review your audition, review how you
Oh,
are.
I see.
They test you on sight reading your music, how well you know your instrument. It's like wind ensemble auditions, but it's 10 times worse.
Yeah, I can imagine. Cause do you want to do music as like a hobby after school?
I don't think so, because I spent most of my life committed to music.
Oh yeah.
And like I know it's gonna be really sad when we graduate because I'm leaving like the whole legacy behind.
I'll tell you, like you leave behind a certain part of your life at that point.
Like I'm leaving the whole part of my life that was like dedicated to music and entering into a new career.
I don't want to do like marching band past high school. I want to join like a jazz band and just like go perform at like random like jazz clubs and stuff like that. Which is like that's kind of how I always want to roll. I just want to like go and perform whenever it feels like I really want to. I always dreamed of like being like, I always tried to imagine myself, I'm like, I'm gonna be a legend. I just hope that this reaches like the kind of kids, or like at least the people that listen to this can like remember me in some regard, but that's just me signing out for now.
I hope whoever's out there listening to this, you have a good experience if you come into this band. And that's all I have to say. This is me signing out.
I had to agree. Just whoever's listening, know that never give up. Just keep trying. Take it one step at a time, and go on your own adventures. Meet new people. Let yourself be open to new experiences. This is me signing out.
I'm currently sitting here with Mr. Gady, who is a teacher and head of the advanced guitar program and course here at Central Union High School. Mr. Gady, if you could just introduce yourself for our audience.
Hello, my name is Matt Gady. I'm currently the Fine Arts Department Chair for Central Union High School, and I currently teach advanced guitar, beginning guitar, and chorus. So the chorus is a mix of beginning students as well as returning students.
I see. And we've brought you in here to sort of talk about your experience as a musician, both as a vocalist and a guitarist.
My experience. All right.
So where you began, and sort of the journey that brought you to where you are today.
Well, honestly, I started singing when I was 3 years old. Yeah. So I had a grandma that played the piano, so she would play the piano and I'd sing along. But I was singing, since I was very young. My parents were both involved like in church choir, so they both sang. And I found out later my mom played some instruments, like clarinet, a little bit of guitar. So there was a musical background there. My family was pretty musical, my parents and then my sisters. But like I said, I've been singing since I was like 3. And most of my experience of singing was in church, right? Attending at church. But by the time I was like 5 or 6, I was singing for different events at church, at different functions. My grandma would play the piano behind me. So I really liked it, and I kept doing it. And then finally in high school, I finally was encouraged to try out guitar, actually by Clark Baker, and I took it up. I was a junior in high school. That's when I started playing guitar. So then I combined those right together, and I haven't looked back. I've been playing that ever since. I did take formal guitar lessons. I took private guitar lessons for about a year and a half in my high school years, but not at school. I took them at a private, it was at that time, it was Clark Baker Music from private teachers. And then I continued in college. I studied classical guitar for my undergrad. So I did music major, music education. So I studied classical guitar and voice in my undergrad. And then I got my first teaching job, started teaching. This was in Kansas. And I taught back there for 2 years. And then I came back to my hometown of El Centro, California, I think in 1993, right around there, 95, and taught elementary music. And then after that, I pursued a master's in music from Northern Arizona University, which was a master's of music from NAU, as I said. And I've been teaching since. I taught elementary for 8 years in De Anza Elementary, and that's when I got this position at Centro. Teaching here. And all the time I've been continued playing guitar and singing, mainly at church. I'm currently at First Christian Church in El Centro.
I see. When did you pick up the piano?
When did I pick up piano? Remember the grandma that I told you about?
She taught you.
She taught me. But I was 8 years old. And I think I did that for like 6 months, but I was 8. And, you know, I had more important things to do, I think, as an 8-year-old. And I stopped playing piano. So that came back to bite me because, my love for music has always been there, my passion for music. But yeah, when I sat in the college classroom trying to play my piano proficiencies, I thought, you know, I wish I would have stuck with piano.
Okay, so moving on to sort of personal interests, what would you say is, you know, your favorite genre of music to play? Just on anything.
My favorite genre to play on the guitar, I think, is blues and classical. I find a lot of, I guess, peace or, you know, tranquility playing like classical guitar. I like the challenge of it. That's what I studied in college, was classical guitar. But I really like blues, just the feel of it and just the soul of it, I guess, you know, the expression in that particular genre.
There's a lot of history behind it. So I can certainly see how that could come through and influence it.
Yes, for sure. There is much history behind it. And the guitar is a fun way to express it. Not only, well, singing as well, but I enjoy doing that with guitar.
I see. So your passion for music, is there really anything in particular about music that really drives you to play it?
Honestly, I think music is a gift, and it's a means of expression and sharing that with others. So if that's your, you know, whatever your passion is, it's probably you have a gift in that area. So use it, you know, to express that and just encourage others in that particular passion and gift. I think that's the main thing, yeah. For me, it's an expression to the Lord, to worship Him, and that's the first and foremost, but the next is to share that with others, because there's a lot of, what's the word I want? There's a personal, you know, enjoyment in it, but there's also the gift of giving it to others, right? That they can enjoy that skill and expression.
Yeah, both in teaching and in listening to performances, I'd imagine.
Yeah, both. Yeah, teaching and listening.
Okay.
Yep.
Before we cap things off, is there any sort of advice you would like to give to aspiring musicians out there?
Wow, advice. You know, stick with it. You know,
Practice makes perfect.
yeah, it's more perfect. Practice makes perfect. That's the thing. So this, sticking with it, paying attention to the details. If you want to be a better musician, that's something you got to do. You got to spend time on your instrument. Learn from others, right? Learn from professionals, learn from your friends, learn from other fellow musicians, and don't give up, all right? Don't give up. Keep going. Keep pressing on. There's going to be success and failures, but we learn through our failures and mistakes. And that makes us a better person, but not only that, but a better musician as well. Have fun. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Gady.
All right, thank you, Daniel.
And to close out the episode, we'll now give the floor to a panel of students enrolled in the advanced guitar program here at Central to talk about what it's like to be a part of the program. Go.
My name is Andres Valdez, and I am in advanced guitar.
My name is Matthew Mireles, and I'm in advanced guitar.
My name is Yarek Nava, and I'm in advanced guitar.
So how did y'all get into advanced guitar?
At first, in the beginning of the year, I took beginner guitar, and how I got into guitar, originally, I had an old guitar that I didn't really know how to use, but one day I just decided to use it, and I found out there was guitar classes in Central, and I just decided to take them. And ever since that, I've just been playing.
Well, me personally, I've never really had a guitar, but honestly, I started playing guitar in beginning guitar at first, just because I didn't even want to learn guitar, but just because it was a class. And then later on, halfway through the semester, that's when I probably started taking it more seriously and more. I started enjoying it more, finding a love for it.
Well, for me, I've always been fond in guitars, just the music, the basically whole vibe of basically how Mexican sounding or mariachi or to metal. I always was fond to that, but I never had I didn't have the money to get the guitar but the last year I had an opportunity to do beginning guitar, and that's where kind of started my love for guitar. So playing that and being able to take the guitar home at times for advance, pretty amazing. I like it.
Oh yeah, that's one of the other benefits that are really nice, being able to take the guitar home whenever you just want. I swear I take that thing home every day just because.
In my opinion, the guitars here at Central are very nice to play.
Well, yeah, man. They're questionable. I'm not gonna lie. They're questionable guitars to play, but good thing that this year, fun fact, Mr. Gady, man, actually just got a whole bunch of new guitars. He's just getting a whole bunch of new guitars for next year, so there's gonna be a whole bunch of new guitars for next year, which I'm excited for.
Are they steel, or would they nylon too?
No, they're gonna be classical as well.
Classical?
Yeah,
Okay.
classical guitars.
Well, I'm glad that probably next year there's probably going to be a lot more guitars for newer people to play, finding love for guitar, which honestly, pretty good.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I remember being in beginning guitar, and there was always that one guitar with a huge hole in the back of it or something.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I heard there's not many guitar classes here in the Valley. So
Oh, really?
there will be a lot more opportunities for newer players that want to join.
Yeah, most definitely. Because, like Eric said, I feel the same way. I've always had liking for guitar, but I never really had a way to get in, or a motivation to get in. And after a while of being in the class, it definitely helps you out.
And especially having Gady as a teacher too.
Oh, yeah.
That was a benefit too, just him motivating us to play.
Yeah.
It was made me want to learn some songs I just looked up on YouTube or something at home, Stolen Dance or something like that, or even Seven Nation Army, stuff like that. Makes you want to learn. He does a good job, to be honest.
Yeah, no, he definitely does.
Yeah, he's a good teacher all around. I mean, he definitely keeps us on beat.
Oh, definitely keeps us on beat. If you're off beat, you gonna work on that tempo.
Whiplash teacher.
Oh, he'll help you. but just like, okay, buddy, let's do this.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a good teacher.
Yeah, making us learn some important stuff on guitar for the future.
Very patient too.
Oh yeah, no, very patient, honestly. He's a very smart man at what he does. That's what I like about him, because he can tune the guitars by ears. He knows about keys. He knows about music theory, which is something that I would like to know about in the future, music theory. And that's what I liked about beginning guitar. During beginning guitar, it helped me understand a lot of music theory. And at first, it was kind of like whatever to me, but now that I actually play guitar, and I go back to my beginning guitar, like what I learned at beginning guitar, it makes me realize like, oh, like these are the notes, and just knowing the notes itself can take you a very long way, you know?
Yeah, and beginning guitar is very, very helpful for probably a lot of us, even though if we're not going to go to advanced guitar. Even like I loved beginning guitar, even though it's like more music theory based, just having to feel the guitar made me like open my eyes, like little heart signs on my eyes. makes me feel like, woo, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely is helpful to learn even just a little bit of music theory, and they definitely do teach you that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, because
Mr. Gady, he can like just look at a paper and he already knows what notes to play. Yeah, I honestly aspire to be like that.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. Like after taking that class, it makes me wanna like take the music courses in college. I remember you were talking to me about it, you know, and it's also a good path to go down too.
Yeah, definitely, from advanced guitar to college classes. I think they even have guitar classes in IVC too.
Yeah, man, they do. They do have guitar classes,
along with music theory.
Which is, it's just nice to have that right after high school.
Yeah, I agree.
But they should have Gady on IVC too, because
Gady would go crazy.
That's a go-to teacher, not gonna lie. But honestly, like, I'm pretty sure, I wish I could play IVC. I'm definitely gonna buy a guitar because of my experience for advanced guitar, because
you don't want to stop playing.
Yeah, I don't want to stop. Like after this year, I don't know if it'll be my birthday, or I know I'm definitely gonna plan on getting a guitar, one way or another. Maybe steal Matthew's guitar.
I'll get you, boy.
No, anyway, yeah, very inspired my love for music, basically.
Most definitely.
Yeah, this class definitely has helped, like, my love for music. At first, like I said, I had an old guitar. I wasn't really interested, but these courses definitely took me to the next level, and I feel a lot better as a player now.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. It doesn't even matter about... You get to a point where it doesn't matter what instrument you have. You just like to pick up a set of strings and just strum them, you know, just play it.
Yeah.
And also, the other cool thing is, like, the people and the students in advanced guitar too, like, we could have fun there. Just have like Matthew teach me some songs, even help me, even him giving me some advice, which I appreciate too.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. Honestly, you know, being in the environment setting of a classroom, you're gonna have people that are like better than you or worse than you, and that's just the good thing in it, that you can learn from it, from your classmates.
Of course, I think also, and that's not really taught in the class but taught in the environment, is like musicianship, getting along with your partners and peers.
Yeah, most definitely, honestly, because like you said, it's not taught in class. But
another point that I have to add on to that is actually, I take that back, because Mr. Gady does make us do combos, and they definitely help with your partnership.
Yeah, you have a point. So musicianship is taught in class.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I get what you're trying to say, where we talk amongst ourselves and are able to just realize that we're all at our own different skill level, and we just got to help each other.
Mm-hmm. And or even just hang out too, just play whatever songs together. Like, I don't. Oh, like what's their name? Like the Viva la Dia. What's it called? You know where
Viva la vida.
Oh, Viva
Yeah.
la Vida? Yeah.
we used to rule the world. That honestly, yeah. Even though it's a combo, that song pretty good. Like you can tell like the teamwork in that. It's like basically you could tell that, oh damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
Set of friends to and their skills to just to handle all that. The teamwork too is taught too, which I appreciate too.
Yeah, definitely Mr. Gady. He has us in like select parts like bass, chords, melody, and they come out very beautifully in the songs that we choose. He lets the students choose too, which is a really good
Yeah,
part.
that's what I was gonna add on actually. That no matter what music you're into, you can get into it because he literally lets you do whatever you want to do it as long as you can get it done. As long as you can get a bass, a melody, and a chord, he lets you do whatever. You just have to put it together, and that's the beautiful thing about combos.
Very creative too, because the melody parts sometimes are challenging.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Most definitely. Sometimes you gotta find your own interpretation of things, which is nice.
And also to add on to that, like the combos is definitely really fun to do. Especially, I remember doing like a lot of combos, a few combos with you, Matthew, too.
Oh yeah.
And even you too. You clutched up. We had fun. Like basically, like, overall good environment. I like to say.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely one of my favorite classes that I've taken over the years.
Honestly, I couldn't agree with you more.
Very good environment, very good teacher, just all around a good place to be.
Yeah, you know, whenever you needed just a break from actual school, just coming to fifth period and chilling in advanced guitar, it's what I love.
Or even connecting to old friends or making new friends too in the environment.
Yeah. But yeah, no, honestly, it was being in advanced guitar, definitely an experience that I would do over again.
Could sell my soul, like have few extra years just to play guitar in this class, I would do it.
That's fair. I wish they had more classes. Do they have advanced too?
Where?
Do they have advanced guitar too? Or just one?
Here?
Yeah. Because beginner guitar...
No, it's just advanced guitar.
Oh, it's just advanced?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I wish I could take this class again.
Yeah, I know. Having it, maybe that's an idea for next year. Who knows?
Maybe,
Advanced
maybe.
guitar too.
Music theory. Gady's got that.
Oh no, music theory would actually go hard. Music theory course. Well, honestly, I think we'll end it at that.
Yeah, and that was my thoughts on it. Definitely a good place to be. What do you
Yeah,
think?
overall.
Pretty enjoyable time, honestly. I liked it. So I think I said everything what I needed to say.
Yeah, honestly, me too. Yeah.
And I think this concludes this talk. My name was Andres.
My name is Yarek Nava.
My name is Matthew Mireles.
And thank you for listening.
Peace out.
Yeah.
And so we conclude our little look at the music makers of May. Unfortunately, we've only got a week of school in June before we pack things in, but rest assured, we've got plenty of content to last until we come back in August to cover some of the emerging musical talent of the 2024 to 2025 school year. In the meantime, we'll be back with another regular episode of Valley Vibes next week. Till then, this is Daniel Montoya, signing off till Sunday, 9 a.m. next week.
This program was produced and brought to you by Spartan Sound Productions. Special thanks to our guests, Mr. Matt Gady, Mr. Patrick Yanni, Fabiola Madrigal, Adrian Munoz Lopez, Mark Perez, Matthew Mireles, Andres Valdez, and Yarek Nava. We'd also like to recognize our production team, Daniel Montoya and Soren Dorantes, Dr. Thomas Tacky, creator and director of Spartan Sound Productions, the administration of Centro Union High School and the Centro Union High School District, and Mr. Javier Fimbres and Power 98 for hosting us, and to you, the listeners.